Hey, it's Chloe Demiro, Save the 50 Rule. How is everybody doing today? Absolutely fantastic, I hope. So we are now into a new year, new backdrop, and we are going into a no buy, budget buy year. So this video, we will do this look on some of the items that we will be project panning and working our way through for the month of January. And then we're also going to go over my rules, what I want to follow, what I want to do within the next year with my makeup purchasing, or just purchasing in general. And I do have, because I know me, I do have a few exceptions, but you'll learn about those in the video. So if that's something that you're interested in, you're in the right place, and you're just going to need to keep on watching. Hey, so if you saw the intro, we are doing a get ready with me using some project items, and we're doing a discussion on my no buy, budget buy year that I'm going to try and do. If you watched my best palettes, or the palettes as I purchased in 2021, you can see that was an insane amount of palettes, never minding what I bought in 2020 and 2019. There we go, on and on and on. So I decided that this year, 100%, we are going to try and do a no buy, budget buy year, because we only have one face. There's only so much makeup we can do at one time. I spent so much money last year, so instead of saving to get stuff done on my apartment or to do vacations or whatever, been spending it on makeup, clothes, you know, ordering in things that I don't need to continue on doing ad nauseum for 2022. So one of the things I wanted to do as part of my project pan was every month I'm going to put together a pile of basics, and then every week I'm going to put in a new palette, because I want to rotate through all the palettes that I have. So one of the palettes that I'm going to do is my very first one that I purchased from Juvia's Place, which is the Zulu Palette. So that is this palette here, and I want to give it some more love and play with it. So this is the palette that I'm going to use this week. And then as I'm using it, we can go over some of the products and choices that I have that I'm doing for this month. A lot of the things that I have in here are things that I have been working on project panning the last few months, just, you know, using them on days that I'm not shooting or days where I don't need to mention what I'm wearing. So these are items that are definitely close to expired, if not have already expired, are almost done, and I'm hoping I can, so that they're products that I can 100% use up, or if I don't use it by the end of the month, can safely put into clean out for recycle, or will put into the garbage because they're basically used up. So some of the things that I want to do for my no buy, budget buy year is I have a list of rules. So a girl that I follow on YouTube, Hannah Louise Poston, she did no buy years and low buy years, and she's had some great rules. So I went and I looked at them, and these were how I kind of took some of her ideas and put them in for my no buy. So the first thing I have is only buy the following if worn out, used up, and no longer good. So that's makeup. And I do have an exemption and budget for makeup, but that'll come further on. Skincare, again, I have a few exemptions and a budget, and that will follow soon. Clothes, nothing unless socks, bras, underwear, anything that may be needed. And I'm hoping, if it doesn't get canceled due to the panini, if I go to Viva Las Vegas this year, there's too many clothes and things, so I may give myself a small budget for that, because if I don't, I know for sure I will break it. If I have a budget, maybe I won't. So we will go on from there. But basically throughout the rest of the year, no dresses, no sweaters, no pants, no nothing. We've got a lot of clothes. We need to wear them. We don't need anymore. Our closets are bursting. No furnishings, no exceptions. I have a friend right now, because my house, I'm decorating it mid-century style. So I have a friend that's working on a desk for me and a lamp, but that was already promised in 2021. I don't get them till this year. So I'm not technically buying them this year. They were budgeted last year. Shoes, no exception. I have high-heeled shoes, flat shoes, sneakers. My Van collection is out of hand, no shoes. And the same thing too with hats, fascinators, or brooches. Again, no exceptions. My hats need their own room. I love hats. I should wear them actually more on this channel. I just love hats. I have brooches that with the panini I've not had time to wear because I don't dress up as much. So I don't need to buy any more. If I do go out, I've got a plethora to choose from. Don't need to do that. And then the other thing that I collect is vintage lady head vases. I actually have one coming that I bought during a Boxing Day sale, but I'm trying not to buy any more of those. I do have a nice collection started, but if I find something super special like a Lucio ball at a price that I can afford, then I may be allowed to have one, but it has to be pretty special. Other than that, I think I've got all the ones that I need. So what I've also added to that was for products. What I've also added was services. So no nails, except for if I go to Viva, no pedicures, unless I go to Viva, I'll do that once. Brows, I'm gonna try and do myself. So that's on my list to do that week. And I'm gonna try to do my hair only quarterly. So that's kind of my review. That's what's going to be my budget for that. So let's just get started here before we get too far. So one of the things that I am panning, and I have been for a little while, is the Tone Activated Primer by Kaleidos. I have a few different eye primers, so I want to start using them before I buy any more. This is one that I actually really do like. It when it says tone activated, it just means that it ends up matching your skin tone, which I find really cool because it goes on looking darker, but then once you start blending it onto your peepers, it matches your skin tone, which I find amazing. And it works really well. My eyeshadow stays. So there we have it. And then I'll move on to the next one and the next one. Specialty ones, like I have a few P. Louise and some other brands that are colored bases. Those I will probably as needed, but just the general blocking out my lid bases, I just need to use those up. So that's what we're going to do there. And then let's see what we're gonna do for a look today. I think I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going for my booster shot today. So I think I'm going to, okay, I watched a lady on YouTube, Nikki Raven, do this cute little look using these colors. So I think I'm going to try and recreate a little bit of the look. So we're going to start by going into the red shade. These ones don't have any names anywhere on the back. If they did, they might have been on the original box, but I don't have that anymore. So we're just going to go and pop in a little bit of red. And then the other thing that I'm going to try and do a little less of is specialty food and eating out. So my life is plant-based, so I have a plant-based diet. I've been, especially during COVID, trying out all these different specialty things that I could order just online. I had food delivered by a local vegan company, but it's all that together is starting to get a bit pricey for me. So I've decided that I want to kind of only eat out for special occasions, and I put myself a food budget, and I've decided it's going to be $75 to $100 a week. And then there's no carryover. So if I didn't spend all of it in 1 week, I'm not adding it into the next week's budget. There's no carryover with the budget, but I'm gonna try and stick to a healthier diet and trying to buy, you know, having stocked in the freezer specialty foods. Now, since I have a bit of a primer on, it has gone on a little bit more pink, but hopefully we can build this up. I've also had this palette for a really long time, so that's the other thing. I wanted to see how quality of older palettes are holding up, and if it's something that because they probably technically have expired, but with powder products you can wear them longer. But I am wondering if some of these things maybe don't work as well. So that's the other thing I want to test out as I go through this process and testing out palettes, because some things over time won't work as well. So I just want to go through that. Why hold on to something just to hold on to something? That's silliness. So we want to play with some of these things as well to figure out if they still work. Yeah, so there we go. So then what I have for what I mentioned up on top for makeup and skincare exceptions, I have an exceptions budget, and that exceptions budget is $50. So that's all I'm going to spend in a month on any of skincare or makeup. So it's because I'm trying to do just things that I need. So if I don't need it, don't buy it. And again, same thing, I'm not going to carry over. So yeah, so I have $50 Canadian a month if needed. Again, see rule number 1. And it has to be following one of the following brands for special releases. And it's excluding shipping because I'm in Canada. And if I include shipping in the $50, I'm not getting anything. So Juvia's Place, Kaleidos, Lethal Cosmetics, Lois Cosmetics, Myas, which is a local brand, Odin's Eye, and Pop Luxe. I have a rule that I want, my rule number 2 under this is no new brands, but Pop Luxe has been wanting to, so Needy from Pop Luxe has been wanting to do a release for a while. He's been working on one. So eyeshadows, I believe. So if he has, and it falls in my budget, and it releases, and I like it, I may purchase that. So I put that as an exception for the no new brands. And then I put Melt on here. And what my other goal is this year, if I can stay within my $50 budget, and maybe even do a lot of months where I don't spend any at all, when the new fall release for Melt comes out, if I've been really good, my one big cheat is to buy maybe one of the full PR collections. I didn't do it with the Beetlejuice, which I loved. I didn't do it with the Mariposa release that I loved. So I thought if they have something really cool, this is kind of like saving up for it, I may allow myself that. But if not, or I don't like it, then fair enough. But I've always wanted one, so I thought, well, maybe if I don't spend any money, maybe that might be the thing, the one night thing, because it gives me a goal to save too. So, and then so rule number 2 then is no new brands. Rule number 3 was, or is, I have loads of makeup, clothes, and skincare. Use them, pan them, wear them. I mean, what's the point of spending all that money if it's just going to sit in a closet and you're not going to do anything with it? I think, or in a dresser, or just, taking up space. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? So that is my other rule. So then for rule number 4, I want to work on some hobbies instead of shopping. So sitting in front of the TV, scrolling through Instagram, watching YouTube videos on purchasing makeup just makes you want to spend money on makeup. And I love makeup. So I think what I want to do is try and focus on some hobbies and things. So I have a whack of books, some that I've started, some that I've not started, that I've not given myself time to read because I'm spending my time scrolling, purchasing, shopping, planning what I want to buy next. It's ridiculous. So I want to start reading all the books that I haven't finished and ones that I haven't even started yet. I started sewing during COVID. I started big, trying to make a skirt. The first one is basically, the test one was terrible. The second one that I did is wearable, but I thought that maybe I might have gone a little bit, did I not bring I didn't. Okay, so I'll just use a cloth. So I started doing pillowcases and table runners. I've been doing pretty good with that, but I bought a lot of fabric over this time period as well. So I thought, maybe I should do more on the sewing. And one of the things I can do, since I'm trying not to buy any clothes and I have fabric, is maybe I could sew a skirt or something to wear for Viva instead of buying something. I have some patterns, I have friends that sew that can help me with bits. So I think that I want to see if I can go back to concentrating on my sewing. Because again, I bought a sewing machine, used, cheap, but still I bought a sewing machine, a sewing table, I bought supplies, we need to use them. Now I'm going into this little orange color here. So yeah, so I want to do some more, practice some more sewing, and I can make my own things, because then I can, again, if you're buying clothes from a chain or a label, especially if you have a lot of friends that have the same taste, you're going to end up having people wearing the same outfits. And I like to be myself and do my own thing. So maybe if I make my own things, I can have my own original things to wear. I love photography. I used to take a lot of photos. I used to have a lot of equipment. I don't think I'm good per se, but I enjoy it. I find it soothing. I had eye problems a while back, and I just thought it was due to age, and I was having trouble taking photos. So I ended up selling a lot of equipment before I was diagnosed with a rare form, well, which was a rare form, but now they're saying it seems to be happening more and more, where younger people are getting this fast cataracts. And basically from the time I was diagnosed, I had 6 months before I would go blind. Yay me. So I had given up driving a car for a while. I had sold off, except for a couple favorite lenses and my camera, sold off a lot of equipment. And then I had surgery a couple years ago, and now I can see better. But my eyes went from being nearsighted and needing glasses to drive to farsighted. So it still made it a little bit more difficult with photos, but I do love photography, so I want to go back to going out and about and taking more photos. So that was a hobby I loved. Why not keep doing it? And then same thing too, I'm thinking of some different ideas for YouTube. Again, I only do this for fun. I don't have a lot of people who watch my channel, and that's okay. I'm doing this for fun. I mean, if I get more people that watch and want to see what it's like, these products are like on older skin, that's awesome. But if not, that's okay. The friends that I have watching, I'm happy with that. Like I said, I'm doing this for fun. Look at my new background. So I now have a Christmas background, I have a Halloween background, I have a Juji silvery background if I want to do New Year's or something more blingy. And now I have my nice everyday splash of color background. So I think I'm good on background. So no more buying backgrounds either. That's off my list. So yeah, so I was thinking my monthly project pens, weekly palette uses. I want to do some more learning about makeup. So maybe I'll do some as I'm learning it to do that. Maybe do some brand focusing with brands that I have. I do have a few items still coming that for Boxing Day, even Black Friday that haven't arrived yet. So I still have a few things coming. I have a Beautylish 2022 Lucky Bag. So I do have a few little things coming, but other than that, I'm trying not to, as like I said, fit within my budget. So there may be still 1 or 2 new things that I get if it falls within all the parameters. But if not, we want to do videos using the products that we have. And then the next thing I want to do is declutter. I want to declutter clothes, makeup, just things that is cluttering up my life, taking up space. So I don't like to declutter makeup. So that's why this project panning, using up, going through and using products to see if they're still working good. So if the eyeshadows are all of a sudden patchy or weird or start smelling funny as I'm going through them, then they're things that I definitely want to get rid of. Here, I don't know if it's the base or not, but the red is more pink on here, which is fine, and the orange is doing really well, but so it could be that this one too is getting a little old. It's at least, I want to say it's at least 2019, maybe older, but for sure 2019. Okay, so yeah, so decluttering. So like I said, makeup, we're going to do it via, makeup we're going to do via testing it out to see if it's still good. Especially lips products. I have a lot of liquid lips, so I definitely want to go through them. So in this box, I have a good chunk, some that are close to running out and some that I just need to because I've had them for a while. So that's the same thing here. Clothes, I want to go through things that I haven't worn, not just due to COVID, just things that I've maybe before COVID that I've not worn or I didn't like as much as I thought I did. So I'll want to declutter that. And then, yeah, other things, knickknacks, books. I did a little bit over my vacation time off, but yeah, just declutter things. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start unsubscribing to some makeup lists, some channels, and some pages. Ones that I don't watch as much or that focus too much on purchasing. I may have to take a little bit of a hiatus from because temptation. I'm weak. I like to shop. You know, that's just the way it is. So yeah. I think unsubscribing from some stuff will definitely help with the temptation, but I still want to be in the know. So, you know, like I'm definitely keeping releases and rants, but I may have to give up stuff, some other different shows where I watched for makeup releases, and maybe even the same on Instagram. There may be some brands that are, or pages that I need to unfollow. So that way I will not be tempted to buy more than I need to buy. And then I think this is kind of my last thing, is that I can do this. I can work on paying off a little bit of debt that I have, try and save some money, you know, like I don't need to spend it all. I don't need to have it all. Again, especially since I only have one face, one body, one home to put it into. I don't need to be that crazy, and that I'm the thing that's stopping me from succeeding in this, and that I just need to, you know, be strong and do this. For instance, I'm not really a lip gloss fan. There's a few that I like I love the Dose of Colors one. It's this nice milky formula. It's not too sticky. And then Lois Cosmetics just released some glosses and some lip liners. And I was going to use that as my $50 spend for January on January 1st. But I was like, you don't really wear a lot of glosses. We're going to be more masks. So I was good and I didn't. So I'm just gonna look forward to see if she has some other releases that I like this year. And then that's what we're gonna do instead. So there we go. I'm trying my best here. So yeah, so I've just got my $50 budget. And I'm trying again to just be products that I run out of. So if through this project pan, I go through every single foundation I have and I need to buy a new foundation, there we go. Foundations, I've been wanting to go to 3, a low price, mid price, and high end brand. I've got them picked out and I already have my bottles ready to go, but I just need to use all the ones that I've already opened and that I have. So there we go. So these colors are still doing pretty good. So I don't think this is a palette that I have to find a new home for yet or to get rid of. So I'm gonna have some fun playing with this. So today we're just gonna go a little bit crazy. And then we have 3 different shimmers in here. We have a green, a turquoise, and a neutrally kind of reddish shade. I really love the green one, surprise. But I think for this look, we're going to try and do that neutrally reddy one. So on things that I've almost finished panning, I've got the last few drops of my Cover FX. So this will probably be done in a week or so. And then I have another, this one, because I bought on a sale in a small bottle, but I usually use things like the one I have coming up to use is like e.l.f. Setting sprays and stuff, cheaper sprays for when I'm doing them, just for like things like shimmers and stuff. I don't want to use a more expensive setting spray for that. So I have a new bottle ready to go, and then I'll put that as part of my project pan, because I could try, like I said, I try to have only one bottle open at a time. And then let's see, I don't even know if I've used this one shimmer before. Use the green ones a lot. Oh, that's really pretty. Yeah. No, I have used it, sorry. As I'm putting it in there, I'm seeing it divoting in further, so I have done. Like I said, I've had this for a while. This is my first Juvia's Place one that I ever bought. This was the color story that called to me when I first heard about this brand. I saw this palette and I had to have it. All right, that's cute. So I'm just going to quickly on the bottom do a little bit of the red, and then I'm going to use my spray here. And then here we'll see if it's actually the primer that made it pink or if it's just turning more pink with age instead of red. Well, it's a teeny bit, yeah, it's leaning more pink now than red. So it could be, I don't know if the pigment, I think the pigment may have changed a little bit over time with this particular shade, but we'll see with the rest of them. But so far, this is the only shade that seems to work a little bit differently than when I got it. It's definitely feeling more pinker because I swear it was more red. It looks red in the pan here too, but that's okay. It's fine. I like pink. And then for the front, I will do a little orange, and then we can start going through some of the other things that I am panning. So let's, yeah, see the orange still goes on really nicely. I love that there's very little, if any, fallout. There's a teeny bit, but so very little. And then quickly for the inner corner, we are just going to go in again with the yellow. So basically I just use the yellow, now the pink, the orange, and then that shimmer. And there we go. So our eye look so far is done. So we're going to leave it at that. I need to do brows, and I think I forgot to get to my normal brow brush here. So I'm gonna go and, okay, so I have my brush here for my brows. So I've been liking brow waxes a lot, but before I got into that, I had a lot of powder brow products because that was my favorite from before. So yes, I have 3 that I'm panning. So I have 2 from Kat Von D, which I don't think they make anymore. And then I've got one from Tarte, which also I don't believe they make anymore. So the Tarte one is my oldest one. Yeah, this one maybe. So I have panned it. There's a nice hole in the bottom. Since the last time I've used it is not smelling as nice anymore, is definitely has expired. So this may be one I may just stop using. And then I have the 2 from Kat Von D. I have one in, it's from the Shadow and Light. So I have the light brown, which is this one there for when I have lighter hair. And then I have the medium brown for when I have darker hair. It does not, yeah, one is warmer, one's a little bit cooler actually. So I'm gonna kind of go between these 3 during my project pan. I do have a wax that I need to finish up as well, but for now, let's just do this. So let's try the Tarte one. I'm gonna see how it works. If it still works okay. If not, this may be one that will just have to go, because it is definitely, this one's probably 2018, maybe even 2017. I've had it a while. So yeah, I think tonight we are definitely going to work on our brows. They are in a desperate need of a tweeze. So there we go. Yeah, so this one's a little bit darker. This is from when I had way darker hair. Well, I mean, it's black now, but without the green in front. So, or when I had darker red hair, I'm just going to smooth it out a little bit more. There we go. Got some dramatic brows going right now. Alrighty, so next up, we're going to put primer on. I only ever try to again have one primer going at a time. So I guess I'm always panning a primer. So this is the e.l.f. Putty Primer. It is one of my favorites. I forgot my little primer brush, so we'll just use it by our fingers. There we go. Got our primer on, and then, oh, I didn't wet my sponge. Hold that thought. All right, sponge is wet. So I guess sponges are other thing that I pan. I only just usually use one at a time. So this is my dose of colors. And the foundation that I'm working to pan is the Palace Identity. I got it exactly a year ago. I was rationing it in the beginning, but now I've decided that I'm going to use it because, again, it's ridiculous. It'll go bad. I need to use it. And then I can still keep this beautiful packaging for display later. So we're going to do a little bit of our foundation here. Mirror, a mirror. I usually use three, not quite full pumps, like 3 dots. And then I'll put a little bit extra because sometimes I find that just around the corner of my nose, I seem to have a little bit, and then sometimes on my chin, it doesn't seem to want to stick. And that's with every foundation. So then sometimes that's where I put just a teeny bit more. And then what's nice about this one, it has that tip on there. So I have some, and I may in the future put them into project pens. Don't really use concealer too much. My under eye, I've been working with various creams and stuff and retinol to try and get it less wrinkly with age. But you know, with your fine under eye, I find that if I put too much under there, it just looks creasy. So that's even with foundation. So usually I just very, very, very lightly with almost nothing left on the sponge go near my under eye. But the rest of it, rest of my face, but nice and covered here. So now for powder. Right now I'm actually using a loose Fenty powder, the lavender powder. It's my hopefully forever powder, but I do have a little bit left that's a mix of a couple different powders that I technically panned already. So I mixed them together. They're various different translucent powders. So I do want to finish this up. So that's what I'm going to use today. If I want to do a more glowy look, then I would definitely go and grab my lavender powder. But today we can just do a matte powder here because this is a mix of a couple of different mattes. What is in there? RCMA is one, and then maybe ZZ. I got a couple of different powders that I got mixed in here. There we go. Like I said, we just want to use up what we have, and there's just no point throwing it out. And then I got this cute little container to put it in. So there we go. Our powder is done. We are set. There we go. So for bronzers, all the bronzers I have, I like, but put it here. But I thought for panning purposes, I'm going to use the Moira Caught in the Sun. Right now, I have this one. I have my LYS Beauty, which I really love, and I have a Juvia's Place one, and then I have an unopened Charlotte Tilbury, which is my favorite bronzer. Well, it's tied with the LYS. But anyways, we are going to use this one. It has a lighter shade and then a more shimmery one that you can use as a, I guess, as a gentle highlighter or on top to make it a little bit shimmery. So, and usually what I do actually with this one is I just go into both sides like that. Just kind of squish it. Nady uses these. This is a really good for using for bronzer. Really good in there. So that's what I've been using recently. This is just one from Doe Color, I think. Oh no, it's a Spectrum one. I have a Doe Color one that's kind of got a rainbowy top. It's a Spectrum. Bronzer is another thing that I just kind of last year or so started using a little bit. So I may not be as good at it as other people, but just to add a teeny bit of definition. So that is the bronzer. That is for the month of January in there. I may rotate through the bronzers or I may keep it. We'll just see. Going the next month, we'll see as we're playing. So bronzer. So now for blushes, I put several different in here. So I have one cream and then I have 2 powders. So this cream here is by Stila. I really like this one, but we are almost done. So this is in Petunia. So I just thought, and this is just coming on its expiry date, I believe, or just passed, so we should be able to finish it, I hope, this month if we just keep using these products. I have a Charlotte Tilbury, which has a big hole in it, and then I love Besame blushes. This is the second one that I've got, and that one has a hole in it as well. But this one is super, this is more muted. I think because I'm really wanting to work on finishing this one, let's use the Stila and Petunia. And then I didn't bring my stippling brush, so I'm just going to use my fingers for this particular one. And find a mirror. And then if you find that you've gone a little bit too much with it, then you can always take your sponge and then stipple over top a little bit. Yeah, it's a bright color. I just went up here a little bit too much. And then also if you want more color, you can add more, or you can also put a powder on top. But I think I like this just as it is today. Just a little flush of color. And there we go. So yeah, so I've got 3 different blushes that I would like, that since I've got holes in them, let's start panning them through. And then for highlighters, I have 2 different highlighters. So I have a Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Beauty Light wand. I can't see what color it is, but anyways, it's one of the lighter ones. And then I have, got this by error. I thought I grabbed the white foundation for a Halloween look 2 years ago, but from Wet n Wild, but it's actually, which I really like. So let's use this today. It's very white and shiny, but it's like a cream, but it's like, I find that it makes a nice highlight. So I think that's what it's probably supposed to be for. I don't have the box or anything anymore, but I think it makes a really nice highlight, and it's iridescent, and it has like bits of, I can't really see here, but little bits of pink and blue and lavender depending on how the light hits it. So I've been really liking it, and I've been using that quite often, as you can tell by the fact that I got a huge hole in it. And part of it was because I think I grabbed a whack of it and be like, oh, foundation, and then as soon as I put it on, I'm like, no, it's not. So I don't know what I was thinking, because as soon as you look at it, you can see it's glimmery. But anyways, so that is the highlighter that I am panning. And then I powder again. And then for my second powder, this is almost used up. I've been using this Besame Sleeping Beauty powder. You can see there, it's almost done. So I thought if I use this now too, I should be able to, by the end of January, finish this up, or it'll be, you know, so little left that it doesn't matter if I hitch it. I do like it. I like the Besame powders. I have some, and I have one of their compacts with the powder and a refill, which I will go to later, but that one, the Besame powder and the ZZ Cosmetic powder are my favorite. All right, I don't have much memory left in this card, so let's finish up here. So lipsticks and lip liners. I have a MAC liner and a Wayne Goss liner. The MAC one is 100 years old, and this one is starting to get short. So these are the 2. I have 2 Kat Von D colors that are almost at their end that I've popped in here. And then I have a neutral Stila, and then a couple lip tonics and a neutral and a berry to use. So I think we are just going to go and use the Wayne Goss and the Stila today. And these are all ones that are older and starting to get worn out. So we're going to use those today. There we go. So there's our lip. And then for a spray, I'm doing my Morphe. And then for a mascara, we have either the e.l.f., because I usually only have one open at a time. And then I have this fun purple one. Lots of editing for me today. Okay, so there we go. We've got a proper card in now, so we have some more time so I can quickly finish up. So what else I have in here? I love the House Laboratories eyeliner. I was having trouble finding a brown one I liked, so that's the one I tried from them. It is literally almost done. There's a very little bit left in there, but it's also, I've been using it for year and a half, so that's pretty good for a liner, but we're not going to use that one I don't think today. And then again, I mentioned for mascaras I was going to use either the e.l.f. or I'm not going to use it today, but I do have this fun purple one from Wet n Wild. It isn't great, but it's something to play with. And then, oh, I do have another highlighter in here. It looks like it maybe has a use or so left in it. It's the Mary Do Manizer. So anyways, it's a liquid highlight. And then I also added in here a couple of these fun colored from Fenty pencils that I could maybe use for a look. So that's also part of my project pan I got going on. And then I have one liner that I popped in here. It's a black liner from Urban Decay, the 24/7 liner, which is very little left. So I popped this into my box here. And I think that's everything. Oh, and then I already had one on my lips, but I'm going to use the last little bit of my Juvia's Place lip balm as well. And that's all I have for this month's project pan. So, well, let's try the purple. I don't think it showed up very well. I think that's why I threw it in here. But like it looks like it would, but let's see. I can't remember. I've only used it once before. I like the wand on here. It's got like big spaces in between and it seems to really like coat on the lashes, but I don't see really a lot of purple on here. So yeah, so I think after this month, if I don't use it or don't finish it up, it's just good to go. I just used it once or twice. It has been open for a little bit, but I only used it once or twice since I got it or since I opened it, so it should be okay. I think I used it for this Halloween for a look, or tried to use it. Anyways, and then of course we've got the e.l.f. one. We can just do that on top. The other one maybe that's what we'll do. The other one nicely separated the lashes, and then this one we can add a little bit more. Hey, there we go. And then I just add a little bit more fullness. So maybe that's what we'll do. That's how we'll use it up. All right. So I think that's it. That's our look here. And that is our little bit on our no buy, budget buy, what our rules are, and then some of the products that I am using. For my first project pan, the January edition, and that's this week's palette. So next week we will have a different palette, but these are the items that I am using. So the eyeshadow look turned out really cute. I like it. It's bright and colorful. Not quite the look that Nikki Raven did, but just kind of a few of the colors that she did in the combination that she used, even though my red turned out pink. But hey, there we go. So anyways, that's it for me. I hope you're ready to join me on my low buy, budget buy here. If you want to follow along with me, try to keep me strong. And like I said, I do have a few products coming. So to keep it on the up and up, I have a Sugar Drizzle polish, their Christmas release coming. I have the Nomad Cosmetics Christmas release coming. So those are the two eyeshadow palettes that I still have coming. It should be delivered in a day or so because I think I want to try using lighter foundations. So like I like the LYS Serum Foundation I've been really liking, but I want to try something as more of a tinted moisturizer. So I bought the small bottle of the Tarte one? Yeah, I think it was the Tarte one that I bought. So I want to try that. So I have that coming, and then I have a Beautylish 2022 to mystery bag, lucky bag, yes. So I have that coming. So that's all the products that I have purchased that is from last year that is still coming that I will be reviewing this month. And then if I do buy something that's new within my budget allowance, or just re-buy something, I will mention that in other update videos and as we are playing with the different palettes, and we'll see what other fun things we can try and do on our channel besides buying makeup and showcasing makeup. There's a million other YouTubers that do that. Not that there aren't a lot of other YouTubers that project pan and do low buy, no buy, but I think the one thing that the Panini has taught me is that I have spent too much money, and I've been trying to fill kind of some of the void of not going out with makeup. So now it's time to pay the piper and actually play with that makeup. So there we go. So if you'd like to give us a like, comment, and subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated. Or maybe even hit that notification bell. If not, that's okay. We can still be friends. We can still project pan together and try to keep each other on the straight and narrow as we try not to spend so much money. We only have one face. Well, we have two eyes, but basically one of everything else. How much makeup can we put on it? Anyways, that's it for me. I hope you're doing well, and we will talk to you soon. Okay.